Hello, everybody. We're going to go live in just a second. Okay, so hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. So today we have a webinar which is hosted by MedMastery, and we're working together with a company called Silvi, and we have a webinar on AI for academic research. Before we move into the webinar, I just want to let you guys know a little bit about who MedMastery is. So MedMastery is a medical e-learning platform, and we have courses on essential clinical skills. So we have video-based courses which teach you things like interpreting ECGs, cardiac MRI, mechanical ventilation, cardiogenic shock, and much, much more. On this slide, you can see the different specialties which we offer. So MedMastery has courses on various specialties. For example, emergency medicine, critical care, we have loads of courses there. And we have courses, a lot of courses on ultrasound and imaging and much, much more. So in case you haven't heard about us yet, make sure you check us out after the webinar. And we're even going to have a special offer for anyone who's in a program yet. Okay, I also want to let you guys know a little bit about our webinars. So we are currently hosting a webinar series, which is for free. And if you have a trial account with MedMastery, you can access all of our webinars. So our recent webinar series and also our previous webinars. And you can see here that we've been covering a lot of topics surrounding AI in medicine. So for example, we did a webinar last month on AI scribes, which is one of the top use cases of AI amongst healthcare professionals. And we had a doctor from Yale School of Medicine who taught us how to use AI scribes safely and effectively in healthcare. We also had a webinar on, for example, AI in cardiac CT, where we had different AI companies who showed how AI is currently revolutionizing cardiac imaging today. So yeah, make sure you guys sign up with a trial account and you can access all of these webinars for free. Okay, and I want to introduce myself. My name is Noor and I'm a medical doctor and I'm working here at MedMastery as a medical AI program lead. And yeah, thank you so much for being here with us today. I also want to introduce my co-host for today, Mushtaq Bilal, who is going to be leading this webinar and showing us how to use Silvi for systematic reviews. Hi, Mushtaq.
Hi, Noor. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. Okay, and I want to let you guys know how you can use this platform. So we have this platform here. It's pretty simple to use. But if you look to the right of your screens, you'll see little interactive icons. The most important one is the Q&A. That's the one with the question mark in it. Towards the end of today's session, we're going to have a Q&A session with Mushtaq, and you can ask him some questions about Silvi. Make sure you submit your questions there so that we're able to organize them. Okay, and this is my final slide before we get into the contents of today's webinar. Make sure you stick around to the end of the webinar because we're going to be showing a platform today, which is called Silvi. And towards the end of the webinar, you're going to get a special gift or a discount on Silvi. And you can access it when we give you the code at the end of the webinar. Okay, so I'm going to stop presenting and I'm going to hand over to you, Mushtaq.
Thank you, Noor. Thank you very much. So just a very brief introduction about myself. My name is Mushtaq, and I have a PhD in comparative literature from Binghamton University in New York, and I did my postdoc here in the University of Southern Denmark. And last year, I joined Silvi as scientific outreach and communication officer, person, lead, whatever, however you want to understand that. And so my job at Silvi is in terms of scientific outreach and communication. I do webinars and I handle social media content and things like that. So without further ado, let's jump into what Silvi is and how we can use Silvi for our purposes of systematic reviews. I have a few slides. I would like to share the slides first, and then we can jump into. I'll show you how we can actually use the app, and I'll take one small little use case, and then we'll experiment with that. So let's see how it goes. Let me share my screen, and then so I'll just briefly introduce the app, and then we'll jump into it. Let's do this. So I hope you can see this, my slides. Yeah.
We can see your slides right now,
Wonderful.
Mushtaq. Yes.
Wonderful. So
But we don't see
Silvi.ai.
the full screen of the slides. Are you able to show the full screen?
I'm using an external screen, and sometimes it messes up.
Okay.
Do you see the full screen, or do you see the?
So right now we see all of the slides, not the full screen.
Yeah, that's so. Can this one, because it's a little tricky for me to.
Okay.
Sorry. I can do this. How about
Okay.
this?
Yeah, that
Is the
sounds good.
slide visible?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, let me stop the share. Okay, just give me a second because I think
No worries.
my screen. Just give me a second. This is one of the reasons I don't share the screen. uh, it should be okay. Okay, we are back. So what I'll do is I'll share this. Our slides and okay, entire screen. So let's go with entire screen here. And how about this? Does this work, Noor?
Yes, it works.
Okay. Okay, so Silvi is an AI-powered tool for doing systematic reviews, rapid reviews, for doing state-of-the-art reviews, for doing a living review, and so on and so forth. And we are also working on developing a tool, a feature that lets you do meta-analysis and network meta-analyses. That feature has not shipped, so it's not available yet, but we are working on it, and it should be available around summer or after the summer. So Silvi has a bunch of features, and I want to start by saying that Silvi helps you accelerate or helps you fast track systematic literature review by using AI in the screening and data extraction process. And it also helps you organize scientific evidence in terms of scientific libraries. We can talk about that later if we have time. Then Silvi is built for the rigorous clinical scientific standards. So every step of the evidence gathering process in Silvi, you will see that it is transparent and auditable, and you can always go back and see who did what. So who took what kind of decision, and who screened that paper, included that paper or excluded, and what kind of data was extracted and from where. So it's very transparent and easily auditable. And then Silvi is what we want to do with Silvi is that we want to produce evidence that is reproducible, that is replicable. So Silvi captures screening and data extraction decisions in a very, very structured and very specific workflow. So you can rerun the reviews, you can update them, you can replicate them very easily. And it's very easy for you to collaborate with your colleagues in terms of a systematic review or a network meta-analysis. Systematic reviews are almost always conducted in teams. I'm not sure if a systematic review can be conducted by a single person, single researcher. So you need to collaborate with your colleagues. And in Silvi, it's super easy for you to collaborate. And then we are working with the Danish Medicine Council, and they are using Silvi to conduct systematic reviews that inform national guidelines for preferred clinical treatments. We're also working with a couple of other Danish institutions, but Danish Medicine Council is the major national institute that we work with. And then Silvi has been used in published systematic literature reviews. And if you're interested in taking a look at it, you can go to silvi.ai/citations, and there you can see a list of papers that have been published using Silvi. So this was a brief introduction about what Silvi is and what our vision is. And now we'll jump into Silvi. So this is Silvi.ai. I hope you can see the screen right. Yeah, okay. So Silvi.ai, the first thing you're going to do is you can get started on it for free. Although if you stay till the end, Noor will give you discount code to sign up for Silvi Rapid Plan, which is a paid plan. So what you want to do is, at this moment, you come to Silvi.ai, click on sign in or get started. Once you sign in, you are going to be logged into it. And this is how your Silvi would look like. Now, your Silvi would not exactly look like this, because you won't have a lot of these projects or libraries. You will have one demo asthma review. So the first thing you want to do at this point is you want to come here and then you want to create a new project by clicking on create new project. So let's create a project. Let's say we are doing a systematic review on how social media impacts mental health of children. So we create a project called social media and mental health. So now our project is created. As you can see here, in just a minute, we have our project created. Now we can import studies from databases like PubMed or Cochrane Central Library or Web of Science, so on and so forth. Now, before you start importing studies, what you want to do is you want to go to Chrome Web Store here, and you want to look for something called Save for Silvi, for an extension called browser extension called Save for Silvi. So you go here and you install this. Once you've installed it, it will appear in your browser here. And what you want to do is you want to pin it. And once you've pinned it, this will appear here as this Silvi logo. Now, Silvi logo works quite similar to the way Zotero connector works. If you've used Zotero, you're already familiar with how these connectors work. But if you've not used Zotero, that's totally fine. I'll cover this Silvi connector in just a minute. Okay, so we have this Silvi connector or Silvi browser extension here. Let's go back to our project. So here we are, and we want to import studies. Now, traditionally, if you're running a systematic review in any other app or even in Silvi, you will need an RAS file. You will need to download an RAS file or a PubMed file from PubMed, say, or Cochrane or any other database. Now, what we've done is, if you're using PubMed, you go to PubMed and you run a search. So I've run this search, social media and mental health and adolescence, and it has given me a list of these papers. Let me reset this. So this is a list of 3,051 results. Now, when you're doing a systematic review, you will filter these studies. You will say, maybe you want to look at papers from the last 10 years. You want to look at papers that are only published in English language, or any other criteria that you have. So for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to filter the studies by the year 2025. So in 2025, I have 737 hits. So we have 737 results. Please keep this figure of 737 in mind. Now, what we want to do is we want to move all of these studies or export these studies into Silvi. Now, this is going to be a very cumbersome process because we'll need to save these as PubMed files and then we import them here. Now, what Silvi has done is, instead of doing this, Silvi browser plugin lets you save these studies with a single click. So we have 737 studies here. We click on the Silvi browser plugin, and this browser plugin will give us a list of all the projects that I have in my library. This is the project that I created. I misspelled social. That's okay. We can edit that later. So I'm going to click here and then click on Save to Silvi. And that's it. That's it. Once you've done this, go back to Silvi, and in here you will see in just a minute. Let me refresh this. That it has started importing the studies from PubMed. It'll take a while. Let me refresh it again. Take not a while, but 737 studies. So all 737 studies have been imported. It took me less than 30 seconds. So while we are here, let me go and change the spellings, correct the spelling, social media and mental health. And while I'm here, I'm also going to write a short little description here. So I'm going to write here in this project, we are going to look at how social media impacts mental health of children between the ages of 8 and 18. And we save these changes. Once we've saved these changes, we have all these papers. We can go to title abstracts, and here we can start screening. Now, at this point, you can ask me a question that, Mushtaq, sometimes we use PubMed, but sometimes we may not be using PubMed. Sometimes we may be using some other database that Silvi's browser plugin does not integrate with. So what do we do then? So here is an example. Let's say this is a Cochrane database, Cochrane library, and I've run a search here, social media and mental health. And I have these 193 results. I'll deselect these. So I have 193 results. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of them here and then click on exported citations. And then Cochrane will give me this option. I'm going to select RIS, Reference Manager here, and download this. When we download this RIS file, you can see here it says include abstract. So it's always a good idea to include abstract here. Because to check the abstracts, because that way abstracts will be downloaded along with the metadata of all the papers. And you want that. You don't want to have 193 studies and then you have to look for abstracts of every study individually. That is just a lot of labor. We don't want to do that. We want to have the abstracts in the file when we download. So what Cochrane will do is, excuse me, this is taking a bit longer. My computer is a little slow. So what Cochrane will do is it will give me an RIS file in Reference Manager. So RIS is a very, very versatile format. You can use RIS in Zotero, Mendeley, EndNote, Covidence, and any other app. So all of these apps support RIS. It's a very versatile format. Let me do this again. And if it doesn't work out, I have already downloaded this file. So I downloaded this file a little while ago. Let me go here. So what I'm going to do is, once I have downloaded this file, RIS file on my computer, I can go to import, and here add import, click on your own files here, then click on next. Then click on Browse Files, and then go to your browsing, your download folder, and here you will see this file, citation export, and you open this here, and this will open up here. Starts. So I'm going to close this. You can see here 193 studies. All 193 studies from Cochrane have been imported into my Silvi. Once we have, so you can do this with Web of Science, with Ovid, with any other database, Scopus, so on and so forth. And if you need any tutorials, we have the tutorials also. You can go to Silvi, click on Get Silvi.ai, click on Get Started, and here we have a list of tutorials that teach you how to import from Cochrane, Web of Science, Ovid, EndNote, Mendeley, Zotero, ScienceDirect, Scopus, so on and so forth. So we have these step-by-step tutorials as well. Let's go back here. So now we have all of these studies here. We go to title and abstract screening, the first stage of our systematic review. And in here, let me move this. Can I move this? Yes. Okay, so in here, you will see that in the left-hand panel, you will see the titles and authors of the papers, and then you have the abstract of every paper. So you can click here and scroll down, and it will show you the abstract of every paper that it imported. Sometimes Silvi may be unable to retrieve an abstract of a paper, as is the case here. This is a good example. So if that happens, now in this case, Silvi was not able to retrieve the abstract. If that happens, you can simply click on this DOI, and then you will be taken to the publisher's website. You click there. So let's wait for it to verify. So here we are, and here we have the abstract of this paper. Now what we're going to do is we are going to copy the abstract from here, go back to Silvi, click on Edit, and then Abstract, and paste the abstract here, and then click on Save. And that's about it. Now we have the abstract here. So mostly, Silvi will be able to retrieve abstracts of these papers, but in case it doesn't, you can easily click on the DOI, go to the actual paper on the publisher's website, copy the abstract, and come back here. Okay, so now we have titles and abstracts. Now we want to screen them. Before we start screening, we want to add, or we want to have our exclusion criteria handy, because when we exclude these studies, Silvi will ask us what kind of exclusion criteria we have. So what we want to do is we want to click here on these three dots and then click on exclusion criteria. So now you can add exclusion criteria. So let me add one criterion, something like wrong study type. I can say studies that do not deal with children need to be excluded, and save this criterion. I can add another one. Let's say secondary research is another criterion. I can say here systematic reviews and meta-analyses need to be excluded. So I have two criteria, excluding criteria. Now we can screen these studies in a variety of ways. So the simplest one is that you go here. Let's say I want to exclude all the systematic reviews. So you go in the search bar and write systematic review. And what Silvi will do is it will give you a list of all the papers, these 225 papers, all the papers that are systematic reviews. So you click here, you select one, and then you select multiple papers by clicking on, by using control and mouse click. So control mouse click, and you can select multiple papers, and you can see that wherever systematic review has been mentioned, it is highlighted here. So systematic review, systematic review, systematic review. Now I have all of these papers, and what I can do is I can click on exclude all, and I can give the exclusion criteria here, secondary research, that's it. So in one go, I was able to bulk screen 10, 11, 12, 50, 100 systematic reviews. So this is one way you can easily screen in bulk. Okay, another thing you can do is, let's go back here. You can also add keywords Positive keywords and negative keywords. Let's say this word keyword adolescent. This is a word that we want to have a positive, we want to have it as a positive keyword. So we are going to click on this thumbs up button, green thumbs up button, and this will be added as a positive keyword. Now, wherever adolescent word appears in your in this set of studies, it will be highlighted in green everywhere. So you can select these multiple studies, and you can see here adolescent, adolescent. Wherever adolescent has been mentioned, it is highlighted in green. Here you go. Yeah. So this is another way you can screen these studies or filter these studies in bulk. You can also add negative keywords. Let's say there is a keyword. Let's add public health as a negative keyword. This is not a good idea to add public health. Let's say violence or cyber. So let's, for example, we want to add this as a negative keyword. We click on this, we highlight the word cyber, and then add it as a negative keyword by clicking on the red thumbs down. So wherever cyber is mentioned, it will be highlighted just like adolescent was highlighted across all these studies, abstracts, and titles. Now, what we want to do is, this is the manual way of screening. What we want to do is, we want to use AI to help us speed up this screening process. How do we do that? Now, we can start here, and for AI to work well, we will need to include or exclude, or in other words, we will need to screen a few studies just to give AI some kind of idea as to what kind of studies it should exclude and include. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to exclude this study because this is not relevant. And I'm going to say this is the wrong study type, adolescent health and knowledge. This is also, this doesn't deal with social media. No, this does deal with digital platforms and school-based. So I'm going to include this. This one is also relevant. I'm going to include this. This is sample ascertainment and recruitment sources. This is not, so I'm going to exclude this. And let's include this. So I have included and excluded a few studies. I've included 3 and excluded 10. Now what I can do is, I can click on this AI button. This is the AI button. Click here, and you will see that it has the project description that we added in the beginning, the examples of screening that AI needs, and then we have exclusion criteria that we started with. Now you can also add exclusion criteria, additional exclusion criteria here. So click here. Let's say I want to add here studies that deal with adults need to be excluded. And I give this a title, wrong population, and I save this. So now we have 3 exclusion criteria. And after that, what we can do is, we can click on screen studies, and all the studies will be screened. AI will start screening. You can see here it has already processed, and it is going to take a minute or 2 before it is done. So while it does that, let me also share with you this decision log. So when you take a decision on any given study, you will have this decision logged in here, and this will show you. Right now it shows by you. That is because I'm the only person running the systematic review, and I'm the owner of the project. If you have multiple collaborators, you will see who has taken the decision, if the decisions are not blinded, that is. So you can have the decision log here, and you can also hide the decision log by doing this. Sometimes you may not want to look at the decision log because other people's decision may color your opinion. So you can hide the decision log, or you can take a look at, you can make it visible. Sometimes you may also need to delete decisions or redo decisions. So let's say this is the decision we excluded, and now we realize, oh no, I need to include this. So you can go here and click here, and you can delete the decision. So the decision will be deleted, and then you can click on include, and it will be included. What you can also do is, so let's say you included this study, And then you realize, oh no, this is a wrong study, I need to exclude this. So instead of deleting the decision, you can simply go to exclude and click on exclude and choose the criterion and simply override the decision. So these are two ways that you can undo decisions or override or change your decisions. And as we can see here, screening, AI screening is almost done, is done. Yeah. So AI has screened all the studies, and now what AI will give us is a set of suggestions. So if I click here on any study, you can see here. So for this study, AI suggests that this is wrong population. You need to exclude this because it does not deal with, it deals with adults. So you can take a look here, then you can, do this by in bulk. You can take a look at wherever, sorry, some of these do not have abstracts, so it is not able to give you decisions. Maybe this is not a good example. Let me go here. So it should give you these results, these suggestions that says exclude wrong population. So what we want to do at this point is we want to screen them in bulk. We go to this filters, and in here we want to click on this suggestions. So we want to go to suggestions, and these are the suggestions given by AI. And here we want to click on exclude. And Silvi will ask what kind of criteria we are looking for. So I'm going to select all the criteria. And then Silvi says 609 studies Silvi AI recommends to be excluded. So click on show 609 studies. And now all the studies that we have are recommended to be excluded by AI. Now, the most important thing that we need to keep in mind here at this point is that Silvi will not take a decision for you. It will only give you these suggestions. So it's you who has to take the final decision. And you will need to do it a couple of times for it to figure out, for it to see that Silvi is doing, the AI is doing exactly what you want it to do. Yeah. So this may need a couple of iterations, but after that, you're good to go. So once you've done this, Silvi will give you all these suggestions. So exclude because of wrong population, and so on and so forth. And you can go through these quickly, take a quick look at them, and then see, okay, so Silvi AI is doing what I would have done. And if you're comfortable with it, you can simply click on use AI decisions, and all the decisions will be taken here in bulk. Similarly, you can go here and filter the studies by include 165 studies, and in here we can see these studies, select them in bulk, go through their abstracts quickly and see, okay, so these are all the studies that are related to adolescents and children, so we are going to include them. And we can undo this. So I was able to screen all of these studies in a very quick manner with the help of AI. But the more important thing is that AI will not take a decisions for you. It will help you take a decision quickly. Yeah. So this is very important. We believe in, or our approach to AI is what is called human in the loop. AI will do the work, but a human in the loop will always be there, an expert researcher to oversee AI's decisions. So this is the screening of titles and abstracts stage. Let's say you are done with these titles and abstracts. You have screened all of these. You will see that the screening progress, your screening progress will be shown here. Right now, I'm at 3%, which means that 29 out of 928 studies have been screened. Let's assume that I have screened all of these studies. And after I'm done with this, I'll go to the full text phase. Now in here, as soon as you go to full text phase, Silvi will automatically go and start retrieving open access PDFs of all the papers. So wherever the PDF is available, it will go and simply retrieve it for you. You do not have to do that. But in cases where it is unable to retrieve the PDF, as is the case here, in this case, it was not able to retrieve, you can simply, again, click on the DOI, go to the publisher's website and download the paper from there. Let's download this as an example. If it is available for free, yeah, looks like it is. So we have this paper here. We are going to download this paper, and this paper has been downloaded here. We'll go back to Silvi, and in here we'll click on up. Sorry. In here we are going to click on upload and then navigate to your download folder. Click here and upload the paper. So now we have this paper here. We have this paper that was retrieved by Silvi. This one was also retrieved by Silvi, and so on. So this way, Silvi will be able to retrieve these PDFs very easily for you, and you don't have to do this manual, tedious job of downloading and uploading these PDFs. Only those ones that are behind paywalls or the ones that Silvi was somehow unable to retrieve. Okay, so at this stage, you will start screening the full text. So you can start screening the full text, and after you've included a few papers, you will need to extract data. Now, Silvi helps you extract data with the help of AI, and this is a very transparent data extraction process. Here is how it works. So let's say this is a paper and we want to extract certain data points from this paper. So what we want to do is we want to go on this tags button, click here, and then it asks us for a new tag. So I'm going to click on new tag, and then I'm going to create a new tag here. Let's say the new tag is objectives, and choose a color for the tag. And this is going to be a textual tag, and I'm going to say extract the objectives of the study. And then I can check this box here that says this tag is required for every study, and then save it. So I have one tag created. I can create another tag. Let's say this is number of participants. And then this is going to be a numerical tag. Choose a color for that, and then write a description. Extract the number of participants in the study. And then I'm going to make it mandatory for every study and save it. Let's add one more tag. So this time we are going to add a tag called country and choose a color for that. This is going to be a category tag because there could be multiple countries in one paper. So I'm going to write here, extract the countries where the study was conducted. I want to specify here, don't extract the countries related to author affiliations. Yeah, I don't want those countries. I only want countries where the study was conducted, and I'm going to make it mandatory for all papers, and then click on save. So once I've created these tags, you can see that these tags have been created here. There are no data values for this paper. I can go to the next paper, and you will see the tags have been created for this paper as well. I can go to the next one, and for all the papers, we have these data values, these tags. Now, we don't have any data values because we have not extracted any data values from these papers. Now, at this point, what you want to do is you want to click on this Let AI Extract button. So you click here and then select the tags. We are going to select all the tags and then click on Extract Data. That's it. And Silvi will go and extract the relevant data for us in a matter of minutes. Then I can go and do this with the next paper. Extract data. I can do this with multiple papers at once, and Silvi will get to work. Now, once Silvi is done, let's go back to this one. Now, in here, you can see that Silvi has populated these tags, these fields. Now we have the country, India, United States, and number of participants, 200, 100 from each country. If you click on this tag, on any tag, you will be taken to the, let me show you this. You will be taken to the exact place in the article from where Silvi was able to extract that information. So you can see here 200, 100 from each country. So this is what we call transparent data extraction. There is no doubt for the researcher. There is no this is totally transparent. And if you submit your systematic review for peer review and 6 months later review reports come in and reviewers are like, okay, so where did you get this data point, you can easily go back to Silvi, your evidence library. You can click on these tags and go directly to that place from where the data point was extracted. So we have this one. You can also see that Silvi has this AI symbol with every data point that it was able to extract. Now, what this means is that this sign shows that the data point was extracted by AI, but it has not been approved by an expert human researcher. So I can approve it or I can remove it. So I'm going to approve this, and once I approve this, the AI symbol will disappear. Let's say this is, so I'm going to approve this one also, this one. So now we have objectives, this objective. Let's say I want this objective to be here, but I don't want this objective. I can simply click on remove, and this will be removed. Then I can go to the next paper, and in here, all the data has been extracted for me. I can simply click here, see, okay, so 362 participants approve this, move on to the next one. I like this data, these objectives, this is fine. I don't like this, and so on. So all you need to do is go to extract these data points and go through these papers one by one and take a look at these data points. And if you're satisfied, you can simply approve them. If you're not satisfied, delete them. So this will help you extract data from multiple papers very quickly, very efficiently. Then when you've extracted data, you've included these papers. Let's include this paper so that we have a few papers here. So I'm going to include these papers. I've included 4 papers. You will, of course, have many more papers that get included after full text screening. And once you've done that, go to analysis here, this button. And in here, you will see a table of all the data points extracted. Let me just enlarge this. So all the data points that you extracted are available here in the form of a neat little table. We have the year of the paper, author, title of the paper, objectives, number of participants, and country. And again, you can see here, wherever the data point has not been approved by a human researcher, it has this AI symbol. Otherwise, a data point that has been approved by a human researcher, it doesn't have any AI symbol. In here, you can also filter data points by AI or human approved. You click on this button and it will show you all the data points that are approved by human researchers or experts. And if you do this, it will show you all the data points that have been approved by human researchers and the data points that AI extracted that are not approved. And in here, you can also download this table as a CSV file or as an Excel sheet. And one last thing. So once you've done this, once you are done with the screening and data extraction, you can simply click on this PRISMA and it will give you this ready-made PRISMA chart, which is updated in real time. So if you go back and change any decisions, the PRISMA chart will be updated instantly. And then you can simply click on download PRISMA plot and it will give you this graphic that is ready to be included in your manuscript. So this was the whole workflow. Now, systematic reviews are done in teams, so you will need to add your collaborators. To add collaborators, you want to go here, project settings, and in here, we added, in the beginning, we added a few details about our project in details. You can go to collaborators here, and in here, you can add a collaborator, one of your colleagues. Now, before you add a collaborator, what is very important is that, let's say I want to add Noor as a collaborator here. So I should request Noor to first create an account on Silvi before I add her. This is important because if I add her without an account, this will just mess up with the system. So I'm going to add one of my colleagues here. So HV, so you only need their email, and then then your colleague, the collaborator, would be added here. Then you can assign them tasks. Do you want them to be reviewer of titles and abstracts, full text? Do you want them to extract data? Do you want them to be resolvers or not? If there are screening conflicts in terms of, sometimes one researcher says they want to include a certain paper, another one says, no, we need to exclude this. So there's a conflict. Now somebody has to resolve the conflict. Usually these conflicts are resolved by discussion, or sometimes people have a third person or an independent reviewer who is the resolver of these conflicts. So you can add them and you can assign them different roles. You can also do one more thing here in phases. So you can go to phases and then you can separate the full text phase. You can click here, combined, and you can toggle this to separate and then click on save changes. Now, if you go back here, so this is the first point, the first stage where we imported studies, then go to title abstracts, then we have screening full text. So in here, you can only screen full text. You cannot extract data. And then you go to data extraction phase. In here, you will be able to extract only able to extract data. You will not be able to screen. So some colleagues, some researchers prefer these stages to be separate. First, they want to have full text screening and then data extraction. Some colleagues prefer the two stages to be combined in a single stage. This is totally up to you. So I'm going to go here and undo this, and you can see here that the data extraction and full text screening phases have been combined. Then we also have, you can also blind decisions. So if you want to blind decisions, you don't want your colleagues to see your decisions, or you don't want individual reviewers to see each other's decisions, you can easily do that. Simply, toggle these. And then you can also assign studies to your colleagues. So let's say you go here and you want to assign certain studies. So these decisions have been blinded here. As you can see, this blinding symbol. If you want to assign studies to your colleagues, so I'm going to assign these studies, let's say these studies to my colleague that I added. I can go here and click on assign to user. And in here, I can say, okay, I'm going to assign them abstract screening, choose their name and save. And you can see here, as soon as you assign them, a small little circle in black color appears. So this study has been assigned to Rasmus. Then I can go here. Wherever the study has been assigned, it will show up that the study has been assigned to Rasmus. So I'm going to assign this one also. Assign to user. You can see here this small little circle. It shows Rasmus's name, and it shows that it has been assigned to Rasmus. So it has a few more features, but I'm going to shut up now because I think we should have some time for Q&A.
Hello, everybody. So the Q&A is now open. You can start submitting your questions and let Mushtaq know if you need anything clarified.
Okay, we have Q&A. Midnight here. Okay.
Mushtaq, can you see there are some questions submitted in the Q&A?
Oh, in Q&A. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, I can see. Does Silvi hallucinate or miss relevant papers? Elena, thank you. This is a really great question. Silvi does not hallucinate because we do not generate any text. Silvi is not meant to generate any text. Silvi is able to run semantic searches. So we do not. So Silvi does not hallucinate since there is no possibility of generating text. Can multiple reviewers collaborate? Yes, I've just shown you how to add collaborators. Please explain the difference between free and paid versions. So free version does not have the AI screening, and you cannot collaborate. I think you can collaborate with. So you can go to the pricing page. Let me show you. You can go to the pricing page and you can see the different features that are available in different plans. So in basic, you get there's no integration with scientific databases, then there is no AI screening, and for paid versions, there is AI screening and so on. So this is a feature table that you can use to see what kind of features are available for every plan. Okay. What kind of courses does MedMastery offer? I think that is for you, Noor. Does Silvi also integrate with Microsoft Word and with referencing in the manuscripts? Okay, so Johannes, this is a great question. Silvi at the moment does not integrate with Word or with apps like Zotero or Mendeley, but this is something that is on the roadmap. So, so yes, in the days to come, maybe. Use risk of bias. What's this? Naveen, I'm not sure I understand the question.
Naveen, if you can clarify the questions, Mushtaq. I don't see an answer from Naveen yet. Maybe we can move on to the next one.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. How long does a project remain active once created? It remains, Maria, great question. It remains active as long as you keep it active. It will not get deleted just because it is dormant. It will stay there. It is the project is going to be there as long as the app is there or we are alive. So if I add other collaborators to screen, do they also need a paid version of Silvi? Thomas. Okay, they don't need a paid version of Silvi if they do not want to use AI. So you can add collaborators even if they don't have a paid plan. They will be able to screen papers. They will just not be able to use the AI features. Does Silvi hallucinate or miss relevant papers? I think I've answered this question. Silvi does not hallucinate. Silvi does not generate any text. Okay. Yeah. I think one comment keeps showing up multiple times. That's okay.
Yeah, maybe that some comments are showing up multiple times. Mushtaq, could you let us know a little bit about how you should report using Silvi? So after you've created the systematic review, how can you report that you've used Silvi to create it?
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. So what we can do is, I would say that we have this. Let me show you. So this is a list of citations where Silvi has been published papers where Silvi has been used for systematic reviews. So I would say if you're a biomedical researcher, you look at a paper from your field, such as this one, and see how they have cited this Silvi, and you follow their pattern. Here you go. So the screening was conducted using Ryan and Silvi version to streamline study selection and data management, so on and so forth. Following the initial screening, Silvi AI, a semi-automated AI-based platform, was used, and so on. And if you are an education researcher, you can use a relevant citation such as this one. Here you go. So these are a few examples that will help you guide, or that will help you see how Silvi has been used or Silvi has been cited in published research.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Mushtaq. I think we have approached the end of the webinar, and I don't see any new questions so far. So I think I can move ahead and let everybody know about our discount and our offer for Silvi. So Mushtaq already explained that there's a free version of Silvi, then there's also a paid version of Silvi, and we have a discount for the paid version. So let me just share my screen and then I can explain it a little bit better. Just give me a second. All right, so here you can see our Mid-Mastery AI Hub, and I'm going to give you guys the button so that you can see it for yourself. So to the bottom of your screen, you should be able to see a button that says Claim My Discount, and you can click on it and you will be able to see exactly what I'm showing you here. So we have an exclusive offer for people who are attending our AI webinars. And in this offer, you get 25% off of Mid-Mastery Pro. So Mid-Mastery is a medical e-learning platform where we offer video-based courses on essential clinical skills. I saw someone asking what kind of courses we offer. So we offer courses on imaging, ultrasound, mechanical ventilation, cardiology courses, emergency medicine courses, much, much more. So you get 25% discount off of Mid-Mastery Pro. And if you purchase that, then you get 2 free tools. So you get Silvi Rapid for free for an entire year. And that's the option that gives you more capabilities with AI, as Mushtaq showed us with the AI screening and the data extraction. And then you also get Consensus AI Pro for free for an entire year. So that's a different platform, which is also great for research and just for finding answers to your clinical questions in general. We're going to have a webinar with Consensus next week. It's going to be on Tuesday. So you're going to have basically a tutorial like how Mushtaq gave us today. And yeah, so all you need to do is type in the code AIWeb 826, and you'll get access to 25% off of Mid-Mastery and 2 free AI tools. In case you are already a member of Mid-Mastery, you're not left out. You also get something. You get 30% off of Consensus and Silvi. And all you need to do is use the instructions over here. In this page, you have specific instructions on how to claim this offer. So you have the code over here, AIWeb 826. You purchase Mid-Mastery, and then you get the 2 free AI tools. Just to let you guys know a little bit more about what you get within the Mid-Mastery Pro subscription. So if you have a Mid-Mastery Pro subscription, you get access to CME accredited courses. So you can have access to over 450 CME credits. You get hands-on experience with case studies within our courses, and we also have workshops. And also a lot of our courses come with downloadable PDF handbooks, which give you a summary of the course and also just written information on what was described in the course. In this link, you also have exact information on what you get in Consensus AI Pro and in Silvi Rapid. And last but not least, let us know if you want to work with us. So if you are if you're in a leading position in AI in medicine and you want to work with us on a webinar, or you want custom content for you and your team, let us know. Let us know if you want to have a call with us and just fill out this form. And at the end of the page, we have all of our previous webinars. So you can click on them and you have access to all of them completely for free. Okay, so that was what I wanted to present to you. And I want to know from everyone how you found this webinar from a scale of 1 to 10. So to the right of your screens, there's a poll which is currently live. And I would love to know from you, how useful was this webinar? So just click to the poll, it's to the right of your screens, and let us know if this webinar was useful to you and your feedback, because we're always looking for ways to improve our series.
Anybody who gives it a 10 is going to get a special gift from me. Just bribing openly.
Yeah, we need to bribe them, but we really hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, it was a really cool webinar. Mushtaq, you did a great job. It was really clear and great. Yeah, so just let us know in the polls to the right of your screens how useful you found this webinar from a scale of 1 to 10. And I think that's all I wanted to present to everyone. And I want to say thank you so much, Mushtaq, for your time and your efforts today. And thank you to the audience as well for taking the time to listen to us and learn more about Silvi. And also one more thing, guys, is next week on Tuesday, we have our webinar with Consensus. So it's under the same link. You don't need to register again, but just make sure you join us next week as well. Okay. Thank you so much and have a nice day.
Thank you, Noor. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.